something that we aren't used to talking about. The Chiefs quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, he's struggling, man. His last 3 games, 878 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4 picks, 4 fumbles, 77 passer rating, 9 sacks allowed. A lot of the stuff has been on him. Like, he's had some bad turnover luck. He's had some bad pressure luck with his tackles struggling at times. But I mean, especially over these last 3 weeks, the issues with his pocket presence and his decision making, they've really compounded into this snowball effect of him looking like a normal, human being at quarterback. And that's not what people are used to. So I've kind of beat the drum of it's all in his head at this point. I think it's not really physical. It's not really on anyone else besides, guys hanging on to the ball. But Marlow, how do you think he can get back on track, and maybe can the team help him, or does he have to help himself?
I mean, I'm with you. I think it's mostly mental. I think it's a situation where they just got to get back to the fundamentals with him. And if you remember that first drive they had against the Giants, it was like they were moving the ball so quick. He's not thinking about it too much. So I'm hoping he's able to get back to that part of it. And he's had a couple of situations where I think maybe he's pressing himself a little bit with the defense struggling. And I've always thought that he's looked at it like he has to go out and score 30. So for him, I think it's just taking it, possession by possession, trying to get the most out of every situation and going about it like that.
Yeah, and 2 things off of that. One, the absence of Sammy Watkins. I know that the splits last year, I don't have them, memorized or anything, but the team was undoubtedly better when he was on the field, whether he was creating production or not, because defenses can key in on 2 of the best targets in the NFL, and they can essentially eliminate one of them. Like Travis Kelce, past few weeks, A, he's been banged up, as has Tyreek Hill, but B, they're really getting physical with Kelce at the line of scrimmage and downfield. They're kind of bending the rules. Kelce clearly getting frustrated, and he's a player that earlier in his career, he would let his emotions get the best of him and it would ruin the game. And then he mellowed out. But now the past few weeks, it's kind of been creeping up where he is visibly frustrated, even on the sideline, kind of in his own head. So I think, they have the championship DNA still offensively, obviously, but they're getting frustrated. Mahomes has been getting frustrated with his receivers. Guys are running the wrong routes. Guys aren't, getting depth down the field. He wants to extend plays. They're not helping him out with that. They can't catch, guys are letting the ball go through their hands. It's been bad. So I'm not trying to, make it look like it's all on Patrick Mahomes. Guys have been hurt. There's new tackles. There's new all offensive linemen. The running game hasn't been great, but at the root of it, he's the guy getting paid the big bucks. He's the guy that's the superhuman player. He is the leader. And he's done a great job leading. He always will. But the on-field product, I do think has to be better.
I agree. Are you one of those people that thinks that the turnovers are eventually going to like even themselves out, or is it like a situation where you think this is going to be a bad year?
Man, they've got to. Not even totally, but like at least a little bit. Man, they can't turn the ball over like 40 times this year, can they?
They're going to try it. That's what it's like to me.
Yeah, they're going to try their best to. Apparently, man, every week I keep saying that I use the word clean, and that's subjective, obviously. But I'm like, man, if they could just like have one random fumble or 0 fumbles, 0 interceptions, I can't remember the last time they've played a clean, inspired, efficient game of football. Like all 4 quarters, they strictly haven't done, and they've had halves where they played like that, like the Washington game, but overall they just haven't been able to.
I agree.
It's tough. Yeah, it's kind of almost boring saying the same stuff every week. Like they haven't, at a certain point, like after 2 or 3 weeks, I was like, give it 3 more weeks. And then after 6 weeks, I was like, give it a couple more weeks. And then they've had 1 good game, bad game, 1 decent game. I just don't know what to think of them. Like this might be who they are, but I also don't think an Andy Reid coach team with all that talent is going to like break turnover records. At least I hope not. Yeah. But I mean, like 19 through 8 games or whatever it is, it's just downright insane.
Man, and it's so weird to me that they've been able to like drop all the way down the field. Like, defenses want to test them out, test their discipline, and see if they can just dink and dunk and get down the field, and they get all the way down there, and then it's an interception. So it's like it's got to be a morale killer for them, but they've been able to hang in there. So
yeah, absolutely. And with that, driving down the field, if you replace some of those turnovers with even 3 points or 7 points, you're adding like 10 points a game to your thing, if not 14, because they're an efficient team, even though the red zone offense does look kind of weird sometimes, where I think Reed does get too cute. Like that play last week where Kelsey like pitched it behind his back to Mahomes. Like, unless you're really good and like just dogging teams, I don't think you should be doing that. But
Right.
it's they just need to replace the turnovers with points, whether it's 6 more points a game, 10 more points per game. Before this 3-week stretch, they were still the best offense in the league, like with all this going wrong. Now it's catching up with them.